We're glad that you're hanging around. This is Y'all Talk with a Southern accent. We love our music of the South, and we love our music that either gets us in a party crowd kind of way, or our music that's got a fun story. We like having fun in the South, and we definitely like to have fun on this, the Y'all Show with Jon Rawl, hour number 2. So wonderful to have all of you tuning in on great radio stations or at y'all.com, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app. We're just all over the place with our show, and we're just tickled to be here with you wrapping up another week. Well, in this segment of our Friday show, it's what we call, it is our Friday Free for Y'all, and we love to kind of tell you a story. Oftentimes we'll have an artist on here from years past that will tell you the story about, play the song, and just kind of have a little music education, if you will, when we get together here at this spot each and every Friday. But today on the show, we have a really special treat. We actually have this artist who is going to be on with us now for a few minutes via telephone to tell us about this awesome song that he has out called Deal With This. And the backstory on this song is I love country music. I bet you a lot of you love country music, and a lot of you probably have, like me, your favorite country music radio station tuned in and plugged in on your car radio. And that's what I do all the time. And when I'm not listening to the Y'all Show, there's a good chance I'm listening to my favorite country radio station. Well, the country radio station I was scanning not long ago, WWYN FM 106.9, I heard this song playing on there, and it was a bluegrass song, for goodness sakes, and that's not something I normally heard on this slick radio station. This was a radio station that you tune in to hear all the hits and saw all the good songs of yesteryear. You don't hear bluegrass on there, but I heard this song play, and I'm thinking, golly, this song must be the new kind of novelty song that all these country radio stations are kind of getting on board, and they should, because that's kind of the excitement that country radio needs from time to time, is something a little bit different. Well, this is a lot different, and this is definitely more of the bluegrass genre, if you will, but it's a great song. It tells a great story, and it's called Deal With This, and it was by a guy named Jimmy Melton, and I looked high and low for who the heck what this song was. I didn't know the name of the song nor the artist when I heard it a couple times. So what do in today's world? You Google. And I Googled Bill Monroe coronavirus song, because the song has to do with the coronavirus and bluegrass music. And I Googled and I looked at charts and I just couldn't find it. And I finally got so frustrated, I had to call up WWYN radio. And a sweet Southern, I think she called herself a country girl, Joy, could not have been more helpful. And she pointed me to the author, if you will, of Deal With This, Jimmy Melton. He is from Henderson, Tennessee, in West Tennessee. And Jimmy Melton is on with us right now on the Y'all Show to talk about his career and Deal With This and a whole lot more. Hello and welcome into Y'all, Jimmy.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, and congratulations on the song. You really caught my ear, and I bet you've caught the ear of a lot of people with Deal With This.
Well, thank you. I hope so.
Yeah, now I'm going to play this song in just a second. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, I don't mind. I like it.
Yeah, I like it too, because it sounds a lot better on the radio, actually. But I wanted to tell you that this is so creative. We've kind of got hit with a lot of coronavirus-themed songs when the pandemic first started, but you took that and took it to a whole new level, because you kind of have this throwback to what would the greats of bluegrass think about the way we're having to live our life. So tell me about the inspiration of how you wrote Deal With This.
Well, I had a year off. I'm trying to travel as a musician for the last several years, and I've been a musician my whole life. And the last year, it just shut everybody down, shut everything down, everything that we do. And I guess that had just been on my mind all through the whole time period of how much things had changed. And I had a record. I was going to make a Nashville bluegrass record. And at the session, we recorded 2 days back to back. And because I had to have something to do to keep me out of trouble. And the guitar player that day said, "Are you having trouble finding strings?" And I said, "Well, no, I found a store in Jackson called Pop's Music, and they had plenty of them." He said, "Well, I'm having trouble up here finding them due to the pandemic and shipping and everything. And that night, I got a hotel, and I thought I need something else for this record. I'm missing something. Of course, I've been a writer for years, and that idea came to me, and I wrote it, and then went back to watching TV. Recorded it the next morning. It was just kind of there for the taking, I guess.
Well, it's a great combination of the history of bluegrass. Some of these names that you hear in this song, some people may not be familiar with. Not the Jimmy Meltons, but the Jimmy Martins of the world. Love that Tennessee song.
We got confused a few times. That was always fun.
But, of course, you got the father of bluegrass big time in this one, Bill Monroe, and others. And so we are going to play the song, but just so people get a little bit of a better idea of who Jimmy Melton is, you grew up in West Tennessee, and you became a great banjo player and guitar player. I think it's a family tradition there in the Melton family in Chester County, Tennessee. But you actually, as a child, were with Chet Atkins on one of his TV shows at one time, and just kind of a virtuoso with music. And now you, professionally, when you're not singing great songs like what we're talking about today, we'll find you playing guitar for Jamey Johnson, country music hit maker. So tell me how this music thing's going for you there, Jimmy.
Going great. That's all I've ever done.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
With the exception of a few jobs here and there, for the most part, I was always able to make it as a musician. I started playing when I was 9, and started going to Nashville shortly thereafter. And I just kept going and kept going and kept going and worked my way into that. And when I grew up, became a songwriter. Well, I was always a songwriter. I was a writer before I was even a player, making stuff up and not paying attention in class and things like that. And I was always a songwriter, and I chased that pretty hard. Wrote, as I tell people, I wrote about 5 days a week for 20 years and had a lot of success with that, had a lot of fun with that, and decided I was going to do something else. And every time I'd try to do that, I'd keep getting pulled back into the music business. And so Jamie needed a guitar player about 5 years ago when Merle Haggard passed away, that he needed a guitar player that knew the Merle Haggard stuff, because he was going to do several concerts to fill in for Merle. And I went out to do those, play guitar for him, and wound up staying. It's been great. And
the news on the Jamey Johnson front is we had to do this interview here with Jimmy Melton today because you're about to hit the road big time with Jamey Johnson.
Oh, yeah, we're going back out and make up for lost time, looks like. I was looking at my schedule last night, and I'm going to be busy.
Yeah.
I like it, though.
Well, you're going to be busy doing that, but you're also going to be busy. Tell me how the reaction to deal with this is going. I know WWIN's playing it, but how much other traction are you getting from radio stations with this coronavirus-themed bluegrass song?
Well, it's my first single as an artist that I've ever done. You know, I was always a writer for other songs. So it's kind of been my introductory single to the bluegrass world. And it's starting to catch on. Thank goodness for Win 106.9 jumping in there and playing it. So, you know, folks like you can find me.
Yeah, I found it, and I'm glad I found it because it's a great song. In fact, I'm just going to shut up talking about it, and I'm going to give everybody out there because, hey, WWIN doesn't have the exclusive on the radio airwaves. We're going to give all y'all a chance to hear this awesome song again from Jimmy Melton. It is called Deal With This. Enjoy it, and then we'll come back and talk to Jimmy a little bit more here on the Y'all Show, Talk with a Southern Accent. Let her go, boys!
Well, I stopped into a music store to buy some guitar strings. There were none to be found in the whole dang town. Said they'd sold out since last spring. Ordering online was another waste of time, 'cause I can't get the darn thing shipped. I'll bet my hat that Lester Flat never had to deal with this. I never dreamed that I'd live to see the lights of such fool craziness. All I know is Bill Monroe never had to deal with this. as far as a virtual tip jar life from my own back porch. For a $10 gift, we'd let it rip right there by the tiki torch. Then a gal from Rock City said she'd send in 50 if we played some Taylor Swift. I beg your pardon, but Jimmy Martin never had to deal with this. I never dreamed that I'd live to see the likes of such fool craziness. All I know is Bill Monroe never had to deal with this. Then we tried it again at an old drive-in where they parked 12 feet apart. And the manager asked that we all wear masks, 'cause everyone is doing their part. Then he said he couldn't sell our live stream show 'cause he didn't have enough bandwidth. I'll bet good money that Bob and Sonny never had to deal with this. I never dreamed that I'd live to see the likes of such fool craziness. All I know is Bill Monroe never had to deal with this. All I know is Bill Monroe never had to deal with this.
Oh, what an awesome song. A song that would definitely put a smile on just about anybody's face. In fact, I think it would put a smile on the father of Bluegrass's face if he heard that one, and he would say something, "That's pretty good right there. Yes, sir. That Deal With This," from Jimmy Melton here on the Y'all Show. Jimmy, what a great song. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you for playing it.
And I need to know, you told me the backstory a little bit about the guitar strings. Were some of those other nuggets in that song true, like the Rock City? Tell me the Rock City story.
Well, that I needed the verse about the drive-in was 100% true, because I'd gone out with Jamie to play some shows, and they were trying, in the summer, and they figured they could keep everybody separated, distance that way at an old drive-in movie. So we had done a couple of those, and I noticed a lot of my friends were having virtual concerts on Facebook. Like, it was a tough year. We're not touring, so they would get it on their back porch and take requests. And that actually happened to a friend of mine, that somebody wanted to hear. It wasn't a Taylor Swift song. That was, poetic license, I guess. But they wanted to hear something that was just so out of character. Like, why are you listening to me for if you want to hear that? And the Rock City thing, I thought, well, it sang good, it rhymed good, and then rock is the opposite of bluegrass. That was kind of an accident. I didn't even realize that till I'd already recorded the song. I said, wow, that just worked out well for me. But the rest of it was pretty much 100% true.
Jimmy, I don't mean to embarrass you here on the airways of the Southeast, but you're not Taylor Swift's age. You're not even 5 years plus
I'm
or
every
minus.
bit of it.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right.
A couple times past that.
Yeah. Well, my point of bringing...
I think she's taller than I am.
Yeah. My point of bringing her up and you up is the fact that you just said this is your first single as an artist.
Yeah, I was always a writer or a musician.
And I want to know what took so long. Man, you're good.
Oh, thanks. I enjoyed being the musician and the writer, and there's a lot to being an artist that people don't see. From being out with and touring with others, there's a whole lot. It looks like they really have it made, and it's all private airplanes and fun, but it's really a lot of work. It's a lot of, you go through a lot to put on a 2-hour show at night. You've got 22 other hours in the day that can be pretty tough on them. So I just always tried to stay kind of off to the side, and I wound up fronting. I fronted a lot of bands because I'd get in situations where nobody else in the band would sing or could sing, and so I would kind of step into it like that, and that served me well.
We're talking with Jimmy Melton here on the Y'all Show Friday edition. He's got this song out, Deal With This, his first single ever as a solo artist, and you would I guess you'd have to classify it technically as a bluegrass song, but I heard it on a country radio station, and now today we're playing it on all kinds of radio stations, including sports radio stations. It's a great song, and it is something we desperately need here in 2021, something that is both a history lesson of bluegrass, but also just a fun song, and we need to kind of take a deep breath, and for those of us who thankfully have gotten through the virus, or it appears we've gotten through it, we need some levity in our lives, and we never want to forget those who suffered and died. And I guess that's a good lead up to my next question. How have you done with the coronavirus? Did you ever get it?
Yes, I did. I was, my wife caught it, and we were as careful as two people could be. I mean, we wore the mask, we stayed home, and she wound up catching it, while riding in a car with someone who wound up having it, and they were asymptomatic. And she got really sick with it. She was sick for about 3 weeks. I had a headache and a dry cough for about 2 weeks, but I never slowed down as far as it never put me to bed or anything. Sure. I didn't feel that bad. I went and was tested for the antibodies a few weeks ago, and I had definitely had it. I had the antibodies. So hopefully we'll make it through it with just that.
Did it affect your singing at all?
Well, it didn't help it any.
Okay. I was about to think, I'm picking on you for waiting so long to sing. Maybe the coronavirus helped square away some of your vocal cords or something.
Well, it always, everything that ever happens like that leaves you with a little, I've always found out every time I'd have the pneumonia or the flu or a major sickness, through the years like that, it would change my voice a little bit. It would deepen it, thicken it a little bit. I guess.
Yeah.
But the main thing with that, you just got to, if you're a singer, you've got to sing a lot. It's like anything else, you just don't get up that morning and do it if you didn't do it yesterday without hurting yourself.
Yeah. Well, you got this song, again, getting a lot of airplay in some portions of the Southeast, and we hope you get lots and lots more. What are you going to do if you become the next Elvis Presley when you're out there on the road with Jamie Johnson? Is he going to let you go play your own dates?
Oh, he would be great about that. I mean, one of the other guys in the band has a little side career as an artist as well, and makes records. Chris Hennessy is his name, and he manages to work both of them out. And if he has something that he needs to go do, I cover for him, and if I have something I need to do, he kind of covers for me. But I don't plan on throwing everything in a van and hitting the road.
Yeah,
like that.
Well,
I've done that. So I enjoy riding the bus too much.
Well, this is, again, a bluegrass type song. I mean, prior to this, would you have considered yourself a bluegrass artist, or what were you?
Well, I was a bluegrass musician growing up.
Okay.
And of course, back then, bluegrass there weren't that many people doing it, like in the 80s. It wasn't as many as bluegrass is a cycle based on country music. That's where if country music turns into gets too far out, I guess I would call it, people go back to bluegrass for the roots, like country music can have sometimes. And at the time, it wasn't an option for me to go do that full time. It didn't seem like. So I went into country music and stayed there all those years. But I never stopped. Bluegrass is something, if you don't grow up doing it, it's hard to learn.
Now, did you ever?
So I had that background in it. I used to I got to go to Earl Scruggs' house when I was a kid and take banjo lessons. And I played with Bill Monroe and Roy A. Cup and all those guys when I was growing up. So I had the background in it for sure. All right.
Almost a bluegrass boy, eh?
That's right.
Let me ask you, as a native Tennessean and a proud Tennessean, is that kind of a conflict of interest that you're out promoting bluegrass music?
No. No.
People automatically think sometimes you're from Kentucky?
Well, Kentucky had to come to Tennessee to make it, though.
That's
what I always said.
Okay. Thanks for...
Grand Ole Opry was in Nashville.
That's right. And Bill Monroe lived there, and Jimmy Martin lived there. Well, he was a native Tennessean. And
right.
Not Jimmy Melton, Jimmy Martin. And one of these days, maybe you'll do like Jimmy Martin did. I always loved how he built this massive headstone for his grave when he was still alive, and he even has a great picture of himself pictured next to that grave in Madison, Tennessee.
He was something else. One night I got his tickets by mistake at the Ryman Auditorium for a bluegrass show. And they gave me, I got to my seat and it said Jimmy Martin on my tickets. My wife said, "Are you going to go take those back and switch them?" I said, "No. It's going to be more fun to listen to Jimmy Martin explain who he is."
That is hilarious. Well, Jimmy Melton, how do the fans hear this song? What do they need to do to kind of keep up with you and support you with your awesome song, Deal With This?
Well, it's on I know there's a link. If you Google Deal With This in my name, there's a link and it goes to like an AirPlay Direct for like radio stations find it there. And I think it's on iTunes. I'm the most I'm a bluegrasser. I still write on paper, so.
What's that?
I'm not a big computer guy even.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you at least picking up something.
They can find me though. I'm out there.
I appreciate you picking up something called a telephone and talking with us today on the Y'all Show and letting us know about what you've got going on. Again, the song
I'm hanging out a window, standing on one leg to get a signal out here. So,
Deal With This is the song. Again, thank you to WWYN Radio for their assistance and getting us connected to you here today. And best of luck on the road with Jamie Johnson. And thank you again for taking the time. And good luck with all that you have going on, Jimmy Melton. I'm going to play Deal With This to break. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Again, Jimmy Melton, the song Deal With Us, taking us to break. Hey, don't go anywhere. When the Y'all Show continues, you don't want to miss out on the fun. We've got to look at some of the college sports happenings around the Southeast, a little college baseball news and notes, as well as the FCS playoffs continuing. And then, again, the tragic story out of Austin, Texas, as the brother of Sam Ellinger found dead on Thursday. I'll share that. It's the Y'all Show. Take it away, Jimmy.
The whole dang town said they'd sold out since last spring. Ordering online was another waste of time, 'cause I can't get the darn thing shipped. I'll bet my hat that Lester Flat never had to deal with this. I never dreamed that I'd live to see the lights of such fool craziness. All I know is Bill Monroe never had to deal with this.